There's a little keyway you don't want to drop like I just did. This could be a legit timing belt. If somebody knows better than I do, I'd like to know. Make sure we're in the neighborhood. Who knows? So in typical Rhonda fashion, this thing dumped over, and first thing that came out was not oil. Whenever this video finds you, please like and subscribe to stay up to date with the channel. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on the channel once again. Today we are going to put that Toda timing belt on Rhonda. I absolutely detest doing timing belts, but it has to be done. Thankfully I've done this job many times on this car, so it's relatively easy anymore. I've already loosened up the alternator and taken care of a couple minor bits. We're going to start by mentioning make sure to put it at top dead center, and then I usually loosen my alternator, take the belt off, which there we go, it's now off. Put that on the bench. Alright, so like I said, we're going to put the Toda timing belt on today and get rid of that probably fake Gates Blue Racing belt that I got. So let's start by getting all the random stuff out of the way. It's always a good idea to put bolts back in holes whenever possible. That way you don't lose them, you know where they go. We gotta break the crankshaft loose. Hang on. Voila! Car's in the air. This is always a little bit tricky, so hopefully I can get this nice and smooth first try. See if I can get this. 1, 2. Yeah, sweet. All right, so we got that loose. We preserved top dead center as best as possible. That's part of why I try to use that special little Honda crankshaft pulley holder. Careful when you're pulling this pulley off. There's a little keyway you don't want to drop like I just did. This thing. Alright, now while it's in the air, I needed my 10mm that's up there. Joy. So, I guess I'll do this by hand. Come on, cooperate. Alright. Now we can set the car back down. Alright, so we're back on the ground. Well, ground. To a working height for standing on the ground. And we're going to take off the T1 cam trigger. And I took off the timing belt cover already, because that last bolt was a bit of a fight and wasn't much to watch other than me sitting there hunched over for a few minutes. Anyways, so we're going to take this cam trigger off like I said, and then should be able to just take the timing belt loose, put the new one on, torque everything down properly, and start putting it back together. It's a really simple process. I figured I would just kind of cut to the chase and get to the meat of the actual work in a sense, because well, you can take all the dressings on and off pretty easily. That goes along with getting to it. My car doesn't have that stuff, so I couldn't show you if I wanted to. Now what I mean by top dead center, because I failed to show y'all earlier, is now my cam gears are aftermarket. They look a little different, but it's still the same concept. On your OEM gears, or even on mine, you see these lines, they're a little off, but they're mostly lined up. And down here, there is a little arrow, which is going to be impossible to show you guys. That's the arrow. Alright. Now, the bolt that I took loose is right down there on the adjuster pulley. It's really hard to see, but I hope you can see it down in here. We'll take the bolt, or take the belt off here and here. Just walk it off. Come on. There we go. And there we go. Timing belt's out. And I don't know, this could be a legit timing belt. If somebody knows better than I do, I'd like to know. Because I do have other B series that this could use, or that could use this. Alright, when you're putting the belt on, start at the cam gears. Keep your tension like I'm apparently not. Get it on your crank pulley. Almost there. Make sure we're in the neighborhood. Oh no! So in typical Rhonda fashion, this thing dumped over, and first thing that came out was not oil. It was, I'm guessing, condensation, because my oil's fine. I just changed it. There's nothing in my oil, but considering it's a metal can and it's been really cold, I'm guessing it's condensating, which open filter, open atmosphere. That's my guess. Apparently something I need to be aware of, and I need to remedy for winter, or leave the catch can disconnected for winter. But glad I noticed now, and not say in spring when I had a bunch of water in my oil, because it mixed in here and went back into my engine or something. Everything's pretty well in line here. We are on and in line down here. I hope you can see that. I'm gonna put the tensioner. I gotta get my torque wrench and torque that down, and then we'll start putting this back together. So I want to show you guys an app I use called Han Database. This is where, I check my torque specs. So I have a B series here. I want the timing belt tensioner. It's 40 foot-pounds. See, foot-pounds. And where'd it go? Oh no! There it is. Timing belt tensioner. 40 foot-pounds. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna bust out the torque wrench. Take our 14 millimeter. Now all manuals say to just let it tension itself as you tighten it. I try to give it just a smidge extra sometimes. This belt was rather tight already, so we'll see how it snugs up here. It's not so good there. That'll ride. You don't want it super tight. You want some deflection, but not so much that it can hop teeth on your gears and end up out of time. So before we put everything back together, we'll make sure it's completely in time still, which everything up top looks good. We are looking good at the bottom. I can see the line and the arrow from here. I don't know if you guys can. So we got the timing belt on. I made sure everything was still at top dead center and in time. I'm going to put it all back together now. It's pretty well the exact opposite of how you just took it apart. So I'm really not going to show much of that. I'm just going to put it back together. I'll be back with you guys here very shortly. So I got everything back together. Here I'll kind of show you. Got the cam trigger back on. Timing belt's tight. Alternator belt's back on. Mounts back in. Everything's all in time still. All in all, everything went pretty smooth. I'm pretty excited about it. It's a little weird finding the water in the catch can, but does kind of make sense considering metal does condensate when it gets cold. So I'll have to watch out for that. You know what? I think we'll do the Detent Springs today. Let me get this thing in the air and we'll kind of show you what that's all about. It's pretty quick and easy. It's just pulling 2 bolts on the outside of the transmission, change out the springs, and voila, I should have a nice firm shifter instead of the sloppy shifter that I have. Alright, so like I said, the Speed Factory Detent Springs are pretty easy to do. I'll show you a good close-up of take these out right here. I'm just going to break these free. She should. There, now she's in neutral. Alright. These are the Speed Factory Detent Springs. Just a couple little springs in there. There's a little check ball you do not want to lose. very careful. Oh yeah, that's definitely a much tighter spring. Wow. There. We got that one started. So I'll show you. This is the OEM spring. Kind of squishy. This one, come on. I can't really squeeze it. Apparently this one's gonna dump transit. We'll be quick. Oh geez. Come on. Go in nice and easy, please. See. Sorry I didn't get a good view of that one, but that was a whole bit of a fight. So I'll tighten those down, but it's pretty well it. Here in a second, we'll test out the shifter. Alright, well I just hopped in the car and I have yet to touch the shifter, so let's see how this thing feels after putting these springs in there. I feel no change. That first, the engagement is much nicer, but the side to side is still rather sloppy. There must be something else that I need to change, and I don't know what it is, because everything's pretty well new. Anyway, the engagement is much better, and I do like that a whole lot. So there is that. So I had an idea, and for years I've used a bolt to connect my shift linkage to my transmission. It's great for when you're taking your engine and trans in and out all the time like I've had to do. But I think that was the source of my slop, because we have much less movement now. It's much more positive of an engagement. It actually feels like a shifter's supposed to. That's, man, I can't believe I was the cause of most of the slop. No, it would slide into gear much easier before with the softer springs. I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's a actual click into gear now. That didn't happen before. It just kind of like, so that's awesome. This thing's definitely starting to come around. I'm extremely excited. That's gonna be nice. Oh man, I can't wait to drive this thing now. Oh, this thing's gonna be so sweet next summer. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope maybe you learned something from the timing belt or my experience here with my shifter. If you have excessive slop, try the springs. Make sure to use an OEM pin or find some sort of bushing for your bolt, which I think is what I'm going to do, because I do like the ease of pulling it in and out. Anyways, y'all have a great night, great day. Whenever this video finds you, please like and subscribe to stay up to date with the channel and receive new video notifications. And yeah, try to stay warm.